face that running up.
Yo, you guys can hear me? What's going on? This is Sir Yeetus. Welcome to episode 158 of Sir Yeetus's Thoughts. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why my stuff isn't showing, but at the moment, I'm going to be adding Gray right quick, and then we will begin. Gray, what's going on?
Good evening, Warband. I've been working on a couple things based on the prompts that chat's been sending, so expect some Sir Yeetus v. The Handmaid's Tale fan art coming soon to my community posts.
Oh, hell yeah. More art coming through. But be right back. I'm going to see if I can fix this right quick, because I don't know what's going on with OBS, but it's pissing me off. So give me a few seconds and I'll be back. I'm just going to leave the studio right quick.
Mwahaha, now it's my stream. I had absolutely nothing planned for this.
Yeah, okay, guy. See you trying to take over. As soon as I leave, all I hear is, oh, it's my stream now. But in all seriousness, hopefully you guys are doing good so far. You know, I made sure that you guys took a break from my live streams because, you know, me doing the live stream, it may or may not cut it anymore doing it every day because there's 10 other people also doing live streams at this point. So I know today for sure it's just going to be me unless Gray has other plans.
No, my live stream was last night. and that'll probably be it for a while because I've got a couple little boy band projects to work on, and I'm really aiming to get the Golden Lie dealt with this weekend.
All right, that's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, you guys have no choice but to deal with your boy Sir Yeetus. Today's topic today, I believe, is pretty important because a lot of people they want to avoid the topic. You know, they might say one or two things about this topic, but when it comes to female privilege, gentlemen, in no time in human history, women as a group got so much leeway, so much privilege, so much just they can literally beat a man to death right in front of you and they'll just get a slap on the wrist. Never in human history. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Honestly, it's hard to. I think it's even hard to find an example because men are so physically tough. But if they could, then they would, and they would absolutely get away with it. Like women can take out other women and still completely get away with it. So when a woman takes out a man, like she's probably considered unlucky if she doesn't get a reward for it.
Oh yeah, like how she's rewarded for breaking up families and destroying her own marriage. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if a woman goes ham on a man, it's always assumed that the man did something to deserve it, and it was probably a long time coming.
Wait a minute, repeat that.
If a woman takes out a man, it's generally assumed that the man did something to deserve it, and that it was a long time coming.
Okay. I didn't hear the assume part. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Okay. No, they got my boy Gray.
Sorry, man. The feds got to me. I'm a card carrying feminist now.
I was just about to say, goddamn, but gentlemen, it's no joke right now these days. Women can get away with the most heinous acts, and they will just walk around free just fine, no remorse, no type of self-reflecting, nothing. They'll literally do all these crazy things, and nothing's going to happen to her. First off, when it comes to heinous acts, there was something that happened that Drex, he did send me, or he did tag me in this one article where a woman was sentenced to 2 months in prison for sexually assaulting a young 13-year-old boy from 12 to 15 years old. Sorry. From 12 to 15 years old, this woman was sexually assaulting this boy. 3 years straight. And what was her punishment? 2 months in prison. How fast you think this man would even make it to prison, let alone serve his time if it found out that he was a predator?
Like, a man is assumed to be a predator if he's just watching his children play at the park.
Agreed.
Like, you can't be out in public with your children as a man without falling under suspicion these days.
To the point where, all these women, they got so much privilege when it comes to them hitting the wall, right? These post-wall women, they really want to shame men for going after young women from 18 to 22, 23 years old.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when they were 18 to 23, they were absolutely going for guys 5, 10, 15 years older.
Which they'll call the complete fucking hypocrites, but nobody's going to call them out, right? Because the power of vagina. No one's going to call them out.
Like, that's the thing. Like, they... Oddly enough, the Animaniacs reboot kind of called it out because, like, the new CEO of Warner Brothers was a female woman of color. And when Dot asked for tips to climb the corporate ladder, woman like this female CEO said, like, no, I'm a firm believer in kicking the ladder down behind me.
Agreed. I completely agree. And at this point, gentlemen, this is why it's very important for channels like us to exist. We are not just spewing out this shit just to talk shit. It can happen to me or you. Literally, it can happen to me or you. Who knows if you send your kids to school in the future, especially if you have a young boy going to school, and it turns out for the last 3 years your son was getting raped by one of his female teachers, and the worst that they can do is give her 2 months in prison. 2 months.
Well, that's the thing. Like, again, we go back to like, what's the point of putting men versus women in prison? Men, it's free labor. Women, it's an expense. They gave her 2 months basically to just signal, oh yes, we're doing something. We take this seriously. Because like, it's just an expense. And the whole point
All
of the
I'm
government
saying is, when it comes to these women, they love to brag about, oh, we're equal about this, we're equal about that. Oh, we're so equal. Oh my God, man, the women are exactly the same. But they will make a big deal if she gets beat the fuck up for sleeping with an underage boy, let alone something even worse happens where she will have to be buried by 6. Hypocrisy. This is why I don't take these motherfuckers seriously. I don't whatsoever. It's just a waste of time. Like it's laughable when these male feminists and these what's it called, quote unquote purple pill guys, they're really trying to take these women seriously. No, I will never whatsoever until they actually suffer the same consequences of be held accountable to the same standard as men. Why would I ever take them seriously? The fact that they even have more rights, more privilege than a modern man today, why do they get off scot-free? Why? The only person that I've seen actually get punished is from a different country, aka Brittany Griner.
Yeah, well, that's
it.
Okay, yeah, but you are aware of Brittany Griner's complicated status.
Oh, that's fine, and that's the crazy part, right? It's because of her status that she even got that long of a sentence. If she was just some nobody, I'm sure she would have served a year max. A year.
That's not what I mean.
Well, okay, I know what you mean by the other. What you talking about? What she's affiliated with? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me see if I understand this correctly. Brittany wasn't always Brittany.
Well, that's a whole different story. Completely different topic that we could definitely dive in the future. But I don't want to dive into that much. At the end of the day, gentlemen, that is the last woman that I truly saw, right? Quote unquote woman that truly got held accountable for her stupidity for breaking the fucking rules. It was overseas in a different country. I guarantee you, if she did that in the United States, she'd be out within the same day. Damn, held accountable. Cool beans. Unfortunately, it had to take another country to actually truly exercise the quote unquote equality. But they still want to put out there that women are still oppressed. Are you kidding me? Makes no fucking sense. No sense. How can you be, and I talked about this months ago, how can you exercise an oxymoron? How can you call yourself a strong and independent victim? I repeat, a strong and independent victim, because that's what majority of modern women are these days. It is out of control. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, if you're trying to hold these women accountable. That is the epitome or the prime example of female privilege. No matter what you do, somehow, some way, at least in the West, they're able to run amok in society and get away with it. What did I say about that, Gray?
Again, I kind of beating this horse to death. Like, there is no point in putting them in prison. The point of prison is not to punish, it is not to rehabilitate. That is merely the justification for slave labor. And you're not going to get effective labor out of a woman. Therefore, there's no point in keeping them in prison. You're not going to punish them equal to men because they can't provide equal value to men. Like, would you punish a cat and a dog the same way? If it was like, okay, the penalty for dogs is to pull a sled for 5 years. Would you hook a cat up to a sled, even though it's going to be a useless burden, even though just to make it equal? No, you wouldn't.
I completely agree with what you're saying. Completely agree. But it's just how much society wants men to follow and pretend with this Barbie house fucking LARPing as men bullshit.
Society, particularly the fucking powers that rule society, government, multimillionaires, multinationals, they need women in power because women are easy to manipulate and men are not. They need men to submit to women in order to give women more power, so that in turn gives the collectivist multinationalists more power.
Agreed.
It's not by fucking accident. It's not just out of hypocrisy. They are doing this with the intent purpose of getting men, the producers of society, to do what they want. Whether that is producing slave labor, producing children, defending like the fucking country, or just fucking depopulating. Whatever they do, they control the women, and through the women, they control the men.
And once again, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. 100%. I completely agree with everything you're saying right now. Gray is on point. Do you see where we're coming from, gentlemen? Yeah, I sound pretty crude right now. But can you fucking blame me? Look what's going on look outside. Look at the quote unquote the main news media of the craziness that's happening out there these days, gentlemen. How can you not be fed up with the situation? How? I got fed up years ago. Right now, it is just like I don't even know.
Basically, at this point, like if I can't laugh at it, then I just don't care.
Exactly.
What do I? Okay, like, because here's the thing. All right, so absolute tragedy. Baby suffers a blood clot in the womb and has to have the arm amputated. I honestly, sincerely cannot feel bad for any party involved. Yeah, sure, the baby's innocent and is totally fucked. But can I really say that I actually feel bad? Like, I don't know.
No, it's a messed up situation, but I won't really like. I don't have a connection with that baby, you know. Like it just, yeah, it's a fucked up situation, but I'm not gonna, mourn per se. Or if I do mourn, it won't be that long, Like it's like. It's a fucked up situation, right? But a lot of people, they die every day, and a lot of people they die in horrible ways. So when it comes to the baby, yeah, it's tragic, very tragic. But at the same time, unless that baby is mine, I'm not really going to hold that same standard of mourning.
Hey, that's the thing. It's not as though. It's like if you warn someone not to wrap a paperclip around their tongue and stick it in an electrical socket, when they do it because they saw it on TV and they wanted to look like an X-ray machine, you really can't feel bad. Like, you were warned. You were told the consequences of it. You were told it a million times over. You were given choices a million times over, and this is what you chose.
I completely agree. I agree. And see, gentlemen, here's the premises of pretty much why all the channels exist right now on YouTube. Men, we don't really care what women do per se. If they want to be strong, independent, they need no man or blah blah blah, whatever, right? The main thing is they turn around and blame the very same men they did not want in the first place for the reason why they're single and they're in their 40s and single mothers and blah blah blah.
But let's be honest. If it wasn't for like they can fucking scream and cry and do whatever. Like, one thing I learned when I studied babysitting, because hey, I needed money as a fucking teenager, sue me, was when a kid's throwing a tantrum, you just move shit out of the way so that they don't hurt themselves smacking a table or whatever. And then you just let them do it. Like, that's all these women are doing. They're throwing a fucking tantrum. So you just like fucking ignore them. The problem is the fucking simps. Because it's not the men that don't take them seriously. It's not the women. It's the men that immediately start to go and enforce the women's will. Those are the ones that we actually have a fucking problem with, because they're the ones that make a woman's emotions have actual tangible consequences.
I completely agree. Completely agree. And I keep telling people, hey, what's the point of fucking holding women accountable if you're just gonna say, oh yeah, you only got a day or two in prison for killing your friend. You got only a month in prison for killing your boyfriend or your husband. How the fuck are they truly gonna be remorseful? How are we gonna hold an example for other women to be on the best behavior if they commit flat out murder?
Okay, no, like,
They
here's
get out the
thing,
next
though.
day.
I think the whole idea of trying to hold them accountable is the wrong way of thinking about it. Because you hold someone accountable if you think they're going to change. It's too late. Instead, you got to think about this more like, how does the mafia treat people who don't meet their agreements?
Okay, I see this as, we all know AWOL, right? It is what it is, right? It doesn't matter where you're at in the world. A woman is going to practice her female behavior because, like we said, female nature is intrinsic. That's just how they are. But the only difference between what's going on in the West and everybody else in the world is the culture and the laws, and I'll say also religion.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. I'm going to be speaking in code here because this is definitely more volatile subject matter. But we had a pretty easy solution for dealing with women that were a menace to society, and it was a way that kept all other women in line. You might have heard of things such as community bonfires.
Well, I see what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I see what you're saying, but that's just one of many situations on how, hey, if you do A or B, this is going to be the result. Here's your multiple questions. You can choose A, B, C, or D, but if you get it wrong, and we give you the answers, hey, you shouldn't choose A, you shouldn't choose B, you shouldn't choose C, and you choose it anyway, bam, then you're going to have to get punished for it. Men, we have to deal with that 24/7. That's literally how it is since the dawn of time, right? Unless you have absolute dictatorship power, you'll be held accountable for your bad behavior and decision as a man. That's just a fact of life. But in today's society in 2022, men, we get held accountable for things that we don't even fucking do, and we get killed off of false allegations, or you spend decades in prison off of false allegations, something that you didn't do. If you guys already heard of Emmett Till, look up Emmett Till, right? Emmett Till, as a teenager, got brutally murdered because a white woman lied about what Emmett Till did. She said that Emmett Till whistled at her in a flirtatious way, and then two grown-ass men went to get this teenager and fucking beat him and stabbed him to death. And then at the end of her life, she finally admitted that she lied about whistling. And then they want to spread that bullshit. Believe all women? Are you kidding me? Hell no. Hell to the fucking no. So at this point in recorded history, women are the most protected class. Women has the most privileged. Women are the most privileged group in the history of humanity right now, in my opinion. Because whatever they say, whatever they do, almost always they're not going to be held accountable unless, with the RPM situation, the hockey mask time happens. Well, that's always an extreme. It rarely happens. So it's definitely going to be the norm for years to come, unfortunately, because we got the manosphere, right? Or we got the warband, but there's only so much that we can do. There's millions of women out there that truly believe in their own minds that they're just as important as Queen Cleopatra, and they can do whatever they please, and nothing's going to happen to them. Because once again, they have the support of the state, the laws, the simps and white knights on their side. And it's just going to get... Gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the female privilege stretches a lot farther than you realize. What did I say, Bray?
That's the thing. They're protected by the simps, though, because... Well, not even the simps. They're protected by the state. Because they are the agents of the state. It is women above all else that give legitimacy to the governing body and all of their fucking bullshit. Like, when you look at... so many people voted this way or that way. No. What you don't see is the breakdown by gender. Like, what they show publicly is beyond different from what the actual factual information is. Because when a man hears, 60% of the population voted for this, that must mean like 3 out of 5 people actually support this. It's like, no. It's fucking it's fucking all women and 1 out of 3 men support this.
Agreed. And here's another example of female privilege, gentlemen, based on what Gray just said. I'm a caveat off of that. Women on countless occasions, and don't tell me that you haven't heard this, gentlemen. Don't tell me you haven't heard or read this. They actively incite violence towards men. I'm talking about kill all men type shit. Nothing happens to them. Hey, we should incite violence towards a certain place or a certain thing or a certain someone or a certain group of people. Nothing happens to them. Nothing.
Well, here's the thing. They do that, but it's not just because they are women. It's because they are It's because they're... No, but that's the thing. They're not just protected from consequences because they're women. They're protected because they are agents of the narrative. If a woman started today on an anti-woman crusade or an anti-LGBTQ crusade, they'd be nailed to the fucking wall. Maybe not as hard as a man, but they would still be nailed to the wall.
But that's what's going on, right? Yeah, of course they're the, even though they probably don't even fucking realize it themselves, they're the agents of the state, right? They are just, once again, it's a big thing ever since the late 1960s, gentlemen. Ever since modern feminism became big old popular, they traded a traditional family, aka or kicked out the father out of the household and replaced that fatherhood, replaced the responsibilities of a father with the government. And then bam, the government already has their hands wrapped around her and the fucking kids. Like, yeah, we'll give you a little change and you don't have to bust it wide open. Yeah, here's a few hundred. You know what? We will help you extort money out of your ex right now. Bam, a little change from child support and alimony. So just send your kids to public school so we can definitely indoctrinate them. So that's pretty much what's happening, gentlemen. But at the end of the day, you can tell the most obvious female privilege that you can think of. Women can literally outright say, kill all men. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. But God forbid somebody on YouTube or somebody on social media says the opposite, right? I'm talking about a man saying the same thing about a woman. You're completely fucked. Completely fucked. You can't tell me that you're not. You can't tell me. If you said the same thing that the woman says when she says kill all men, I guarantee you will have a visit. Guaranteed.
Right, if you're even
That's what I'm
allowed to
talking
post
about,
such
Jeff.
a comment in the first place.
Who?
If you're even allowed to post such a comment in the first place, like you basically have to say it live.
It's
Like this thing, like you and I both know we can't actually say the literal words here because the YouTube algorithm is going to pick up the transcript, and at the very least they'd flag the freaking video for inappropriate content. That's why we got to talk fucking circles around this bullshit instead of just being blunt with it.
agreed. Agreed. And once again, I'm sick of these male feminists thinking that they won't get thrown on the bus by these very same women.
That's the thing. It's fucking male feminists are the same as like all these fucking hope factor guys. They all think that honestly, it is a very female way of thinking when you get down to it. They all think that they are special because they feel a certain way and that they are different and they're going to be different. And then it just completely blows their mind when they're screwed over. But I forget exactly who said it or how many times it's been said. But it's much easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled.
It was like, please, if I agree with everything that you say, even though you make no sense, can I please have the puniti? That's pretty much what I hear from a male feminist.
By and large, yeah. And my God, the thirst is fucking strong. Like some of the stuff I've heard from guys where, like, if they go a week without getting laid or a year without getting laid, they start to freak out. And it's like, guys, what the fuck? Get your fucking biology under control. There is more to life than ejaculation.
Agreed. Completely agree. And I already know that I'm going to have eyes on this channel solely because I'm calling out the complete bullshit. Fuck that, not regurgitated. Oh yeah, women this, women hypergamy, blah blah blah. See, if you're actually for male issues, if you're actually for men, you will call out the actual bullshit, right? But unfortunately, I can't go to the extent that I want to because you already know the deal. If I actually spoke what I truly want to speak about, you already know what's going to happen. So that in itself, see, gentlemen, and I know you heard it before. If you want to know who's truly in power, look at the group of people that the masses are too afraid to criticize. I repeat, if you want to know who's in power, look at the group of people that the masses are too afraid to criticize.
You know, I'm sure you've heard the story of the monkey, the ladder, the banana, and the hose, right?
Nope.
Okay, so it's kind of an anecdotal story. I think it might have actually been a lab test. Basically, they put 4 monkeys in a room, there's bananas at the top of a ladder. And every time one monkey tries to go up the ladder, the researchers would spray every other monkey with a hose. And so eventually, every monkey that tries to go up the ladder to get the bananas gets the crap beaten out of them by the other monkeys to stop them from doing it. Once this behavior is learned, one by one, the monkeys are switched out. And every time the new monkey sees a banana, starts to go up and gets the crap beaten out of them. And until eventually all 4 monkeys have been replaced. None of them ever experience the hose. But every time a new monkey swapped out and introduced, they still beat the crap out of them. And
Right.
you could imagine that if these monkeys could communicate and you could listen on their conversations, a new monkey might ask, "Why are you doing this?" And the other monkeys might go, "I don't know, it's always been this way." And I think that's a lot of guys when it comes to criticizing women. Like, they are so conditioned to attack anyone who criticizes women, they don't even have any idea why they do it.
Agreed. You know, it's just decades of conditioning. I completely agree.
And the conditioning is far more subtle than being sprayed with a hose. Like, geez, like, all you have to do is look at media these days. If there, I have yet to find in modern media, going back a couple decades, a man who is openly critical of women who isn't a bad guy.
Right.
Now, there's probably some movies, like, I'm sure, these kinds of, like, red pill stuff does slip in every now and again. But it's certainly not going to be anything that Hollywood puts out.
No movies, but the only person I can think of at the moment is Al Bundy. The TV series.
Yeah, like, but how was he portrayed, though? Because you can speak red pill stuff, but it's another thing to be talking red
Very
pill
depressed, very angry father that's pretty much sick of the family life. And he says it how it is. Like, he 9 times out of 10 he will speak his mind, and it will definitely be red pill stuff. He's famous,
but he's not framed in the context of the media as a good person to strive to be.
No, he's just sick of the family bullshit, pretty much. You get married for a decade or two, and just the honeymoon phase wears off, and he's just like, "Fuck," I'm working at this shoe shop, or was it like a dress shop? Let me know if I'm wrong, gentlemen. And he doesn't hold back when it comes to his own wife or any man or woman that comes his way, right? He's only nice here and there, but at the end of the day, he speaks a lot of the things that men wants to say to their own wife and people in his life. But of course, men in real life can't do the same thing.
I think they can, but they're punished. But that's the thing, you do it on TV. Like, if they're going to give a red pill perspective to a man, that man must be a villain, or at the very least, someone who is abhorred by the general cast. Like, when was the last time you saw a happy, well-adjusted, well-liked hero of a man who spoke red pill?
I will say the last time will be Al Bundy, because Al Bundy was definitely liked.
That's the thing. I'm not familiar with the show, so I can't. That's the thing, but like you said, he was angry and depressed.
In a sense of, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. You know how it is when you with somebody for so many years, right?
No, I get it. I'm thinking about the framing of the narrative in the show.
So not the people that likes the show. You're talking about the show itself.
Yes, like in the context of, let me put it this way. Like Senator Armstrong in Metal Gear Rising. Yes, he's well liked. Yes, people resonate with his message. but he's also an antagonist in the context of the game. He's not the protagonist, he's not the hero, he's the obstacle that you're supposed to defeat.
Duke Nukem? Duke Nukem? That's a video game. Duke Nukem. I think.
Did Duke actually speak red pill stuff?
Here and there, not like frequent, but here and there, yes. I'm trying to think of more. Hold up.
I'm trying. There's this one. God, I forget exactly what the heck this was.
I know Bernie Mac. If you guys know what the Bernie Mac show is, that's a good one. Let me see. Give me a second. I'll think of some. Hold up. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you, E-Fan. Kasuma.
Who?
You know who he is?
Who?
From Konosuba. Kazuma.
Oh, Kazuma. Okay, yeah, that's... Okay, yeah, that is Japanese media, so, like, yeah. Like... Okay, here's the thing, though. Aside from the one gender equality quote, can you actually give any other things Kazuma said that are red pill?
Not that I remember. I haven't seen that show in a minute. But I know he didn't give a fuck about how they felt.
Yeah, but he's not... Okay, but he's also not portrayed as a good person. Like, yeah, he's the hero of the story. Yes, he's the protagonist. But he's also a socially awkward NEET who is openly mocked for being a shut-in his entire life and being incredibly weak-willed and is constantly the subject of ridicule and fucking bullshit.
Wait, so are you looking for like a Superman type character then?
Yes, I'm looking for an actual paragon, not just someone who spouts red pill and happens to be in a lead role. An actual paragon, someone who you are meant to idolize and want to be.
Well, then, unless the chat knows, then I don't know. Unless the chat says otherwise, I don't know. I said Al Bundy before, but you know, since
like that's the, like you can have a sympathetic protagonist, but that's when you're able to stop and look at it from a more logical standpoint, and you can see where someone's coming from. I'm talking purely on the emotional, the kind of media that appeals to women and weak men. What red pill protagonist is emotionally the good guy?
Fuck it, Batman. Fuck it. Oh, he's gonna give you justice. Doesn't matter what gender or what type of. Oh shit, that's whatever. But yeah, besides the people that I mentioned, we don't. I really don't fucking know unless somebody comes up with a miracle in the chat. So, but in all seriousness, before we continue, you know, my first shill of the day. Let me go ahead and read these super chats right quick. I will say, Dr. Spangler, you donated when I was sleeping. I see the time frame. Thank you very much for your generous donation from Cash App. Thank you. Also, Chaz, thank you very much for the generous donation from Cash App. It says, she has the privilege to swallow my zinc shot. Jesus Christ, bro. You ain't holding back. Goddamn. Oh, and from Rusty Rivers, he just donated like not that long ago whatsoever. When I said not that long ago, 15 minutes ago. Thank you very much for your generous donation from Cash App. Yeah, he didn't say anything, but he definitely gave a very good donation. I appreciate all you guys donating. And before we continue, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus and the Warband, there's a link on top of the chat. It's just only Cash App. Cash App is the best possible way to donate because the money goes directly to me. But you can also donate to Super Chat or Super Thanks. Any donation is appreciated. But if you cannot donate, no biggie. It's whatever. Just continue to listen to our rant, because honestly, at this point, it's pretty much a rant. Because no channel at this moment is truly speaking on this female privilege bullshit, right? And honestly, Gray, honestly, I think tomorrow, I honestly want to speak of, has the manosphere been taken over? I want to speak on that tomorrow.
No, definitely a good one to get into.
I really do. Because based on what I'm seeing lately, it got completely taken over. And, there's various examples and stuff. But just to keep it simple, do you believe it got taken over? Yes or no?
I honestly can't say, not having like an extensive survey of it. I mean, I can definitely see that entry level red pill stuff has been like thoroughly co-opted. Like if someone was going to search for red pill stuff right off the bat, they're far more likely to find Fresh and Fit than they are Hammerhand.
Agreed. And what Freewatch just said, the manosphere is full of grifters and chameleons now. Yes, it's full of them now. How are you going to talk about some manosphere shit and we got a shit ton of fucking females trying to give advice to men about how to deal with relationships and what? And then we have all these other men. They say, hey, I got the recipe for you for success. I got everything you need. Just easy 10 installments of $100. I will give you the perfect advice of just be confident, bro. That's literally what's going on now these days in the quote unquote manosphere. And it is fucking sad. It is fucking pathetic. Sad and pathetic. Gentlemen, if you think that I'm wrong, look at my channel and look at the rest of the other channels you see in this manosphere and see who actually gives you quality content. Not stop the entire show because, oh, you didn't give me enough likes, or, oh, you didn't donate enough money. I'm going to play the most annoying sound until you give me money. You sound like that's people that's actually looking out for male issues, actually making sure that men have the right advice. You really think that's good, gentlemen? No. And we have plenty of these people everywhere. Plenty. But we're definitely going to be speaking about that tomorrow in detail. But what do you have to say about that, Gray, before we get back on topic?
It's frustrating, but I'll be honest, I don't really try to look into it too much. I can't control that kind of shit. I try to focus more on the shit that I can actually control. And like realistically, I'm stretched thin as it is. I do not have time to be worrying about that kind of stuff.
Well, I see what you're saying, but once you've been watching this stuff or making content, which I haven't been making content for that long, but once you've been watching this stuff for the last 8-9 years, it's very annoying of how fast this shit is falling. It's beyond annoying.
No, it's not. That's the thing. It's not even that. It's not natural. You know it's not natural. You know that the people at the top are artificially pushing things one way or another. The same way that any sort of red pill content on TV would at best be squashed, if not outright canceled. It's just going to be the same way on YouTube. Meanwhile, like if you want to find this kind of stuff, you got to go to fucking alt tech. You got to go where the money isn't. Like I guarantee you that the manosphere on Odyssey and BitChute is fucking thriving, and that PUAs and whatnot do not bother.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, that's another thing we could talk about tomorrow. We will mix the two together. because that's another issue. I spoke about it here and there throughout my streams, but we never really got into detail of how much of a voice modern women have within society and how quick they are to shut down men that are calling out their bullshit. Like, gentlemen, you don't understand. And once again, I don't agree with everything that Kevin Samuels did. Right? I don't agree with his practices. But he still held the mirror to mainly the black community, black women, held the mirror to their face and showed their flaws and their fuck ups about, hey, you're in the position that you are because you put yourself in here. Your choices, right? Feminism, right? You're strong, independent, empowered, sexual liberation, blah blah blah. But as soon as you have to face the consequences, all of a sudden, it's not your fault. Gentlemen, you have no idea how much hate Kevin Samuels had to go through when it comes to these black women, especially after he died. It got 100 times worse. Holy shit. Like, I guarantee you it will happen to me, but a lot worse if I ever decide to wear a suit, wear some glasses, drink a couple Red Bulls and call out the black women in our community as well. Say, hey, you're fucking up. Hey, you need to do this before you're gonna die alone, and all you have is your dog or your cat or your box lion. I guarantee you, if something happened to me, right? Once again, if I met an angry elephant and the elephant yeets me across the goddamn road, right, like with his trunk, he picks me up and just fucking throws me, then bam, I'm dead. There will be no hesitation of the countless black women that will clown me on my grave. Hell, at this point, I won't be able to disclose my location of the grave, just so it won't be disturbed. Gentlemen, it's not just Kevin Samuels too, right? It's anybody that calls out their bullshit. Anybody. Why do you think they want to run their mouth saying, oh, show your face, bro. Show your face. If you're truly for men, show your face. Which is completely fucking stupid. And they think that we're stupid enough to even do that shit, right? Because why else do they want us to show our face? Docs. That's it. Right? But in their simple brains and in their simple minds, that's the only way they're able to try to get an upper hand on channels like ours that's honestly calling out their bullshit. Because they can't argue against our arguments, right? They can't attack our arguments. So, of course, what's the next best thing? They're going to try to attack us personally. Right? Oh, you don't get no bitches. Oh, you probably stay in your mama's basement. Oh, you probably ride a bike everywhere. Oh, you probably are only 5'3". Oh, you a midget. Oh, you probably got a little Twizzler down there. Oh my God. Oh, show your face. Show your face right now, please, so I can have something to say back at you. Stop attacking my argument. I know you're right, but don't make me look too bad. Just show your face so I can ruin your life for the rest of your life. I can ruin your reputation, ruin your income, ruin any type of future opportunities that you have. Ooh. Do you see why it's like completely bullshit? Do you see I don't really entertain that shit? Like, come on, gentlemen. Come on. They really think that men are that dumb to say, oh, yeah, okay, I'll show my face. Boop, here I am. Like, come on, bro. But what do you have to say, Gray?
I mean, honestly, they do it because what else do they have? Like,
Agreed.
all they can do is try to attack your character. And for them, they see it as a win-win. If you show your face, then you give them more ammunition to fuck you over with. If you don't show your face, then they get to call you a coward and a fake, and they think that amount of character assassination will be enough to discourage other men, which I'm guessing for some it is, because there's a bunch of fucking weak ass men who will just do whatever a woman says and believe whatever they say.
I completely agree. Gentlemen, I'm sure you heard it countless times before, especially when you put comments in various other channels, right? Hey, maybe she should stop sleeping around and keep her legs closed. Show me your face. Hey, maybe if you want to attract the man that you want, maybe you should stop eating fucking Burger King every goddamn night. Maybe you should stop ordering Uber Eats and actually try to eat something healthy and cook something at home. Show me your face. Hey, maybe instead of getting pregnant by multiple men, maybe you should try your best to stick with one man so that man is able to be a quality father. Show me your goddamn face. That's all they have. It's like a broken record, gentlemen. It's a broken record. Broken record. And I guarantee you, the channels that also don't show their face, like especially the Sandman, I'm sure he got that all the time in his email and stuff. Show your face, you pussy. Show your face. I'm sure. Oh, if you're a real man, you just show your face. Blah blah blah. Gentlemen, once again, gaslighting, manipulation. They're just trying to bait your ass. They can't argue with you. They can't, because they know you're right. That's why they're so angry. Gentlemen, that's pretty much what it is. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Oh, accountability. Yeah, accountability my ass. I read Indian Kush's comment. Yeah. Gentlemen, there's so many examples right now on social media of how quick women are to dismiss accountability is not be funny. So it's laughable at this point. It's laughable. This is why I say, gentlemen, this equality shit, oh, men and women are equal in every way, is bullshit. And second, there's no such thing as equality, especially when it comes to relationships. That is non-existent. That is a myth. That is a delusion that feminists pull out their fucking ass so they can feel like they're up to par with men. Hell no. No. Because if they truly were trying to be like men, they will break down. They will lose their fucking mind of how much men have to go through on the daily basis. Not just being a man, but male responsibilities. Ooh, they will lose their fucking mind. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Equality? Yeah. It's not in a relation. Well, okay, you know what? No. You could have equality in a relationship between two men.
I don't know really much about that, so
You could, like I think, you theoretically could. But even then, like, because
what are you talking about?
look, if you're going to say equality in a relationship, and you're not going to specify a heterosexual relationship, I mean, theoretically, you could have two men in a relationship at the same level of wealth and social status. It's theoretically possible. And since neither one of them has any inherent biological advantage to the extreme that men and women do, it's theoretically possible.
I see what you're saying, because especially if, it's just, two friends or male coworkers, they'll be able to eventually work out a deal 9 times out of 10 to make sure that, things are done equally in their eyes. Able to hash things out. Hey, you do this, you do that, and we'll be good to go. And then bam, handshake, let's get it done. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, but in a heterosexual relationship, no, because the whole point of a relationship, unless you're doing it for tax evasion purposes, but by and large, the only reason to be in a relationship, a specifically sexual relationship, is for the production of children. You don't need no fucking government contract or hardcore commitment for recreation.
Is this true? Hold up. Carry on. Gay men are the richest couples. It makes sense.
I mean, on average, I'd imagine so, yeah.
That definitely makes sense. You know, since I'm sure they're both busting their booty when it comes to if it's a corporate job or a strenuous job, such
Well,
as
even if they're not, think of like the difference in expenses.
oh, it is much less. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like they don't have to make as much, but they wouldn't blow their money on fucking useless bullshit. On average.
Agreed. I completely agree. So once again, as much as a man wants to bat for the other team, or if they want to be in a heterosexual relationship, or if a man wants to be single, at the end of the day, a man intrinsically, right? Once again, because I believe this is biological, men only get what we need, right? Then what we want. But as soon as a man is content with what he has, he doesn't really go farther than that unless he has to. If he doesn't have to, then he's content on where he's at financially.
Well, like honestly, I'll give like personal example. So job site has been short of a Bluetooth radio for a while, and I am beyond tired of listening to the local radio's top mixes. So I've been planning on getting a radio for a while, which it's a couple $100 between the radio and the batteries. And then my coworker says, "Nah, he's gonna get it," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck that! That's a couple $100 saved. No need to have two of them."
Hey, can I stop you real quick?
Dude.
Hold up. I'm gonna read these couple comments. Men are generally less materialistic and happier to be minimalist as opposed to women. Yes, like I said, like these, like especially the men that bats for the other team, I guarantee you they're stacking cash. I'm guaranteed, right? Once again, I don't really agree with the lifestyle. I don't, but as long as you're not trying to shove it down my throat, shove it down like through the media, through social media, through the radio, in person, except I don't care what the fuck you do. I don't care. Right?
That's the thing.
You live your life, I'll live mine.
Like we don't see the fucking glorification. Like if the same level of glorification of relationships was to be done on heterosexuality, people start freaking the fuck out.
Oh, agreed. Imagine just like a bunch of sex scenes on fucking kid shows and shit. People will go nuts. But Ghost, he says, sorry about the new gun law in Canada. No more importation of firearms. Damn. Okay. Oh, that is fucked. Bro. Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Why.
That Trudeau wants to take the gun away. This is just another frog in the boiling water. And I know that all the guys that have guns and fucking talk big shit about how, the Canadian equivalent of "don't tread on me." I know they ain't gonna do shit.
Agreed. But back to the female privilege talk. Do you believe that the group Western women or modern women are the most privileged ever?
In terms of population size, yes. Like just the demographic of their population size. Because you could probably point to tiny groups or individuals that have more privilege. But in terms of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people linked solely by their chromosomes and location. Having this much privilege, yeah.
I know it's been going around since the dawn of time, but recently a woman can get you killed just off of her word alone.
Oh yeah.
Right? Police or the Simpson White Knights, or if eventually if you get convicted of a false allegation, the dude's in prison.
Let me put it this way. The only way that you're ever going to get women being held accountable by the government is if the government gets control over the female reproductive system. The only way the government is ever going to extract value from a female is through breeding. If you were like, hey, you're a fucking 20-year-old woman, you committed a crime that would put you behind bars for 5 years, so you must now bear 5 children for the government. Oh, they'd be locked the fuck up. Abso-fucking-lutely they would.
You talking about going the CCP route?
The CCP hasn't even gone that far yet.
Not that far, but they tread the waters.
Yeah, like that's about it, but that's where it would have to go. But the problem is, as soon as they do that, that's when the simps will fucking rise up. And that's the problem. Like, the government knows that no matter how weak the fucking simps get, if the women turn against the government en masse due to some kind of law like that, then the simps will turn and the government will fall. Because again, if you lose control of the women, you lose control of the men.
Well, so what would that? Okay, so are they saving face? And I know there's plenty of reasons why they overturned Roe v. Wade, right? Like when the midterms are coming up and all that other stuff. But for the long term, is the U.S. saving face, or do they see the depopulation is like it's cannot control? They're like, hey, you know, maybe
not, okay. I don't think that the government is stupid enough to believe that stopping Roe v. Wade is going to change a damn thing about the depopulation.
So it's just strictly midterms then.
It is just strictly the midterms. They sacrificed Roe v. Wade, which effectively does absolutely nothing, simply to get the fucking Democrats riled up about the midterms. That's it.
Chat, do you think that's funny? Do you think that's hilarious, everybody that's watching? That, you know, when the Roe v. Wade thing wasn't an issue, they were too afraid to define what a woman was because you weren't a biologist. But as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, oh, you're not a woman, I'm a woman. I have reproductive organs. All of a sudden, they knew what a woman was. This is why I would never take the left seriously. This is why I would never take feminism seriously.
Like, sacrificing it was solely to potentially cause some new vacancies on the Supreme Court, let's say. So that's one potential side effect. But primarily it's to get a whole lot of political will onto the Democrat side.
Which is still not enough, because based on what I've been seeing, at least for the last month, I think the governor seats, was it? A lot of conservatives or the GOP, they've been winning seats lately, except for one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm sure they have, but
I say that it's really going to work. I don't think it's going to work as much as they anticipated. Like it's definitely going to be, if it's actually, you know, an actual election.
But it also steps up but it also steps up the divisiveness and works as a distraction. There's a bunch of stories recently, like some high profile trials, like Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, her shit got fucking overshadowed by Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, yeah, these are also, like, these have the side effect of being like smoke bombs to distract people from things that they might unite over, and instead pump out things that they will be divided over.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I agree. You know, I don't want to get into details with that situation. That situation, I'm going to be going to Odyssey. Sidetrack. I will be doing a slow transition to Odyssey, gentlemen, where I'm going to be posting more often on Odyssey than on YouTube, because at this point, I think it's very close to the point where there will be a point that they're going to yeet channels like mine and Gray's and Ribbies and etc. And they're going to keep channels like Fed and Fraud, Rolo Tomato, fucking what's her name, Femme Sapien, and what her name is, Torsia. They'll keep them there, but they'll definitely start eating channels like mine.
Well, especially since the midterms are in a couple months. So, yeah, like YouTube's going to get, and other YouTube affiliates are going to get more and more political in the coming time.
So I'm going to be announcing often until around near the midterms, or like, probably a little bit after, depends if I get yeeted or not. I'm going to be doing a slow transition to Odyssey. Slow transition. I'm still going to have this channel, but this channel is probably just going to be shorts. That's it. No more live streams on here. None of that serious talk. Because at this point, you can just say the wrong word or phrase and it's game over for the channel. Game over, right? Hell, things can get worse. It can go beyond just the channel. And I'm sure you guys already know a good example. So I will definitely start pushing Odyssey more often. And then I'll let you guys know when I start to like mainly post on Odyssey. I'll let you guys know for sure. But when it comes to the midterms as a whole, I truly believe that the GOP will take over, or at least make it more balanced. So they'll take over, or at least they'll win enough seats to have more GOP in seats. Like it'll definitely be easier for conservatives to have a voice. Not the right now.
That's where I disagree, man. I honestly
really believe that the Democrats are going to hold on to power.
No. That's not what I disagree with.
Oh,
I disagree that the conservatives, once they take the House and get more power, are going to make it easier for conservative voices to speak. Channels like yours are not going to be protected by the conservatives having a majority. They hate you just as much.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Like, once again, I see the Capitol Hill as two sides of the same coin. I completely fucking agree with that. There's no denying that whatsoever. Gentlemen, if you haven't figured out by then that Capitol Hill they're pretty much on the same team, but they play as frenemies or enemies in public, you got to look more into the history and or political climate of today.
They're just going to use it as an excuse to like rile people up. That's all that's going to happen. There's going to be a whole bunch of riling up and a whole bunch of fucking bullshit and a whole bunch of finger pointing and blaming. But there are going to be no tangible benefits from having the GOP. Like, this is what I say when it comes to the politicians. Like, choosing to vote for the left or for the right is like being in a car heading towards a cliff, and you're choosing whether the person in front floors it or goes the speed limit.
Oh, believe me, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But at the end of the day, Sleepy Joe got to go. But that makes it even worse because, we got Vice President Harris replacing him. So it's a fucked up situation right now.
Yeah, and like, let's be honest, like the fucking GOP are probably gonna put some fucking POC or women. Like, no, this is actually a carry on. I know you're fucking listening to this. How does it feel like to know that the only two candidates for your conservative party are a man of color and a woman?
What do you mean by that?
Boris Johnson quit being the head, so basically the conservative leadership for the UK has been in a voting race to see who becomes the new conservative head. And last I heard, the only two options were a woman and a non-white man.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. Because I was just thinking, I'm like, I thought they were going to get the governor from Florida, DeSantis, or Donald Trump as
as
what's
the
it called?
UK man.
Yeah. That's where I got confused. I was just thinking about what's going on in the states, because I think DeSantis from Florida, he has a great chance of winning besides Trump on the conservative side, and they have he has a huge chance of winning. You know, he
Well,
showed
he's again being
two sides of the
popular
same
among
coin. I agree,
being
but at the
yeah
end of the
yeah.
day, he showed Disney what's up, and he passed a lot of laws that please a lot of conservative people out there. So if he decides to run, I think he announced that he was going to run. Actually, I have to look it up, but if he does decide to run, then he has a good chance of winning. DeSantis, I think his name is DeSantis.
Yeah. I think Ron DeSantis. That's the thing. Like, in an actually fair system with a party that genuinely went in their own self-interest, yeah, I think he's got a good shot. After the last election and seeing how the conservatives treated their president when Trump was in power, yeah, I got no fucking faith that any base. I don't think America will ever have a based president ever again. Even
Unless you
remotely
get
based.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Oh, not playing. I'm just playing. I'm kidding, y'all. He will run as a Democrat anyway. So I was just fucking around.
Yeah. Who's ready to see fucking Bernie Sanders run again, get a shit ton of money, and then sell out to Hillary Clinton again?
I know it's gonna happen. We need to help America, and we need to make sure we fix these taxes. And then, bam! Oh, it turns out I lost to Hillary. Let me go ahead and take all these donations back to my mansion.
I'm once again asking you to open your wallets and give your money to me so that I can throw you under the bus at the last minute and give it to Hillary, who gave me a massive payout that you'll never find out about. Now, only go after the trillionaires, as I've recently become a billionaire, and no longer seek to punish the billionaires, but instead the trillionaires, which I am not yet.
Free Ross, when has the U.S. had a base president? See, in my opinion, based on getting shit done, President Trump. He's
Definitely
the
the
first
closest you've had in a while. I think that you'd be
that
hard
never
pressed to
put us
find
in a
a
war. He made sure the military got paid, and he also made sure that the economy was running afloat with all these bills and all these things that were happening. I forgot which bill exactly, but he was able to actually bring money and bring resources back to America while he was in office. He put,
I'll be honest, I think
like you said, he put America first.
I think the most I could actually criticize about Trump is that he didn't do more. I recognize that other people have issues with him due to the foreign nation that he supported. But if that's the price of like getting everything else done and getting gas to a reasonable price,
Well, okay. Do you know who FDR is?
I've heard the name a bit. I know that it's like Franklin D.
You-
Roosevelt.
you-
Do I know the fucking details about it? Not off the top of my head.
Okay, like he was president during World War II, but then he died, and then President Truman took over, and that's where the bombs started dropping on Japan.
Was FDR in power when America got involved in World War II?
Yes, he's the one that taught the Congress to declare war against Japan. I think it was first Japan, then Germany, or it was Germany first. No. It was Japan first. I think then Germany, because that's right after Pearl Harbor. He went to Congress, and he was the longest reigning president. Actually, he died on his 4th term, and after his death, that's when they put a law saying, "Hey, no more than 2 terms in office."
Yeah,
Because
honestly,
before that, there wasn't really a limit on terms.
yeah, I'm still behind on my research into these kinds of matters. So
I'm a big fan of history, even though I haven't studied in a while, right? So once again, Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I'm pretty sure he died from an aneurysm while he was on his porch or something like that. Like he was just chilling on his porch and he died from a brain aneurysm, you know. But him as a president, don't know, because he's the one that introduced the Social Security.
That's
So
honestly,
I
I'd
don't
say
know.
that I'd say that America hasn't had a truly based president since Washington.
What? Not John F. Kennedy?
I don't know. Again, like I don't know, dude. I'm Canadian here, and I'm willing to bet I still know more about American civics than most Americans.
Everybody know about John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, I know about John F. Kennedy, but I don't know enough about him to say whether or not he was based.
Well, no, wait. I gotta correct this. Hold up. Cool Chickens. He drug us into a war we didn't need to fight. He should have been Minecrafted. Cool Chickens. We literally got kamikazed and thousands of sailors died during Pearl Harbor. How could you not declare war? They literally flew across the goddamn Pacific Ocean and said, yeah, let's go ahead and fuck with the Hornet's Nest. Yeah, let's go ahead and fuck with the Americans and sacrifice our lives kamikaze style and destroy ships and shit.
You know, technically, you could say the thing. You could still say the same. You could kind of say the same thing about 9/11, though.
Yeah, but what? See, this is okay. I will say when it comes to Japan, it's more obvious that Japan was responsible for the Pearl Harbor situation compared to what happened with 9/11, right? There's all these
well, no, but that's the thing.
crazy conspiracies.
Pearl Harbor happened long before, like any of us were alive. We don't know we don't know all the surrounding details. We don't know what the heck went around. All we know is the narrative we've been presented with in hindsight.
Well, the Emperor of Japan, he claimed the attack, so like he claimed it.
Like that's the thing. Like the details we know are so sparse due to our distance from it. It's entirely possible that there were alternatives that were shot down.
But all I know is the Pearl Harbor is a lot more concrete than what happened with 9/11. Right? Not saying that Al Qaeda or the future's Al Qaeda. I'm not saying Al Qaeda wasn't behind it. That's not what I'm saying. But based on evidence alone or historical, evidence or witnesses, what happened in Pearl Harbor is way more concrete than what happened in when it comes to 9/11. Not having all the details, of course, but there's way more evidence when it comes to Pearl Harbor. Right, and I doubt they had the technology or the plan to do some conspiracy shit. Right?
You don't think, dude?
I doubt it.
The fucking initiation for the Vietnam War has admittedly been a false flag. You don't think they could have done similar shit for Pearl Harbor?
Nah, no, not really. And like once again, I'm not saying that it wasn't possible. But I doubt it was some type of conspiracy bullshit, because at the same time, I completely forgot what led up to the Pearl Harbor incident. But I know that Japan and Germany was in close talks that caused that situation to happen. I'm not going to say the group. Your guys already know what the group I'm talking about, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, right. But then again, you got to keep in mind that there were also groups of people speaking with all the Western nations and powers that be in there, and organizations that had excessive influence in those that were also opposed to Germany at the time. I can't get into details about that for the exact same reasons. So,
yeah, we gotta say that.
I do not. I don't take Pearl Harbor at face value. I've seen too much bullshit around that particular time period to take anything historically handed out at face value.
It must have been a crazy ass plan to the point where America came out as a superpower.
Yes, agreed. Crazy ass plan, but not necessarily one that failed.
Well, hell, there's Freemasons around the world, so like I said, it's not I'm like, once again, I'm sure it was possible, but I doubt that was part of the plan, right? Because at the end of the day, human error, it can always be at play in the sense of taking account of human emotion or what the agenda of a certain person in power is. It could be some dumb fuck like, hey,
I don't
fuck
know.
America. Let me go
I don't
ahead
know.
and talk.
Like, let's be honest. After everything you've seen in the past couple years, do you, okay? If someone actually told you to your face, "Hey, don't believe malice when incompetence could be an excuse," do you really think that that holds any fucking water these days?
No, like once again, I completely agree that there's a possibility that the powers to be may shit happen. Like once again, like there's groups out there that's been around for thousands of years, Freemasons. But um like once again, like I'm not part of the big boy group, you know. Hopefully I don't become part of that big boy group because I'll be going down that deep ass rabbit hole if I ever get part of that shit. Um so I truly don't know the truth 100%. So that, you
Like, I've
know,
just seen enough shit to make me not take any of that, like anything from that era as face value. Like, if I've learned it in a history textbook as a kid, I question it, and
well, true,
I doubt the veracity of it.
because history is written by the victors. So you're not wrong.
Yeah. So, like, that's all. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't completely trust the narrative that's been presented, and I've seen more than enough evidence to, at the very least, make me less certain. So, yeah, like Thumb Ugly's got a super chat here that might poke a little bit at it, but I do think that the Pearl Harbor rabbit hole goes far deeper than
Uh,
just Japan attacked us. Well, Japan
U.S.
attacked the
defense
U.S. U.S. had to
exercise
respond.
revealed weakness of Pearl Harbor. Japan immediately used those results for their plan. U.S. banks froze Japan's money. All a plan. All a plan that was pre-planned or a plan that happened in the process.
Depends on how far you think pre-plan goes. Because I would, from what I've seen, U.S. involvement in World War II was definitely planned long before Pearl Harbor happened.
I
Like
wish I
it,
can go into details about this. I really do.
yeah, but
But we
this, like,
already know
we're
that if
already
we keep
kind of
talking,
like we're on thin fucking ice as it is.
right, if we keep going down the rabbit hole, we're gonna be here for literally all night, all night.
Yeah,
Cause
like a all night, and B, like, I need to go back and take some fucking notes to make sure I actually had the points. And saying those points would get us yeeted from YouTube immediately. Like,
oh
mid
yeah.
fucking stream, everything fucking gone. Emails to every email variation we have. PayPal shut down, the works.
Well, after I saw Hammerhand get yeeted midstream, I was like, oh shit. Uh, he joined Chronic Stream and we were talking. That bam, he was gone. His channel was yeeted midstream.
Yeah. So,
I was like, shit.
yeah.
Um, but what is your summary about the female privilege today? If you have another topic to talk about when it comes to that, or if you want to wrap it up when it comes to your uh
Again, I think that my general conclusion, female privilege is a combination of two factors. Number one, they are desirable, like, by men. Like, a female is desired by a man, and simps are willing to use any edge and throw away any bit of their dignity to try and acquire them. That's number one. Number two is that they are useless to punish. Like, there's no resource aside from one that would cause full-on rebellion, that can be extracted from a female that is worth holding them accountable for. A man you can make pay with his time and labor. A woman you can't. You're basically putting them up in a hotel of varying quality for an extended period of time. And we used to have ways to deal with this, which are public displays of accountability, let's call them, varying in severity, but the key was that they were always public. Prison is very private. Like, if you wanted to actually hold women accountable in a way that was effective at controlling the behavior of other women, you would have to make it a public display for everyone to see. And it would have to be an excessive example-making bit of accountability, not necessarily proportional to the crime.
I definitely see what you're saying, man. Definitely spoke nothing but facts on that shit. But I have to address one more super chat. It comes from Cheese Fiend. I'm sure you know who you are. Thank you for the generous donation. He says, check your PayPal, sir. I got a relevant super chat. Just to let you know, I don't have PayPal anymore. I don't know how you're able to donate still. But don't donate. I'm telling everybody right now, don't donate to PayPal no more. I only use Cash App at this point because the fact that I could be yeeted for something that the company doesn't like what I had to say, that's a dangerous thing in my opinion. So nobody donates to PayPal no more. I only use Cash App or Super Chat or Super Thanks. No PayPal whatsoever. But at the end of the day, I do greatly appreciate your donation. I'm going to see where it's at because I deleted, I should have had deleted everything. I don't know how you're able to donate. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to say this one more time because I believe it's one of the most relevant things that you can think about right now. If you want to know who is in power, look at the group that the masses are too afraid to criticize. You really think that we'll be having avatars and shit if there was no risk of our livelihoods being ruined? Think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. This is your boy, Sir Yeetus and Gray. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a shit ton of gems dropped on you today. And it was a pretty good stream. I enjoyed it, right? Even though I unfortunately didn't really pay attention to the chat as much as I should have. But I had a lot to say today. I'm sure Gray did as well, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot to get into on this. Still details and tangents.
Agreed. So this is it, gentlemen. There will be a stream tomorrow. I've been lazy with my video, so expect expect shorts and stuff tomorrow as well. Today I just felt lazy. We are out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.